My name is Myles Burke, and I am a co-owner here at Myles Burke Architectural Models. 2006, Dave Myles, my business partner, and I started our company, and it's just being in the right place, right time. Toronto, I believe, is the #1 high-rise condominium market in North America. I got into architecture because I couldn't get into engineering. I didn't have the grades. I can remember being at Ryerson, and the first time I saw a professional model, I don't know who had built it, why it was. I guess somebody was getting rid of a scale model, and they donated it to the school, and it was right out by the library. And I remember walking past it, and it blew my mind. And then I'm like, oh my God, where did this come from? This is amazing. And then it's sort of, somebody said, oh, it came from so-and-so. I don't remember what the answer was, but I realized at that moment that somebody makes these models. Somebody does this. The way we approach our models, we're building them in AutoCAD, which isn't necessarily new, but I mean it's an industry standard. From there, when we actually start to make physical components, we're going to send it to a laser. But essentially they operate just like a printer. They're actually pretty easy to use. From there on, that's when we get into the hands-on approach. We're going to take those pieces of plastic, then we have to machine them. We actually have to physically pass them through a saw, or let's say a router, or trim them, or make them fit. That's where our guys, the model builders, that's where they sort of take over, and then it's more of the handcrafted approach. Piece of technology that everybody asks us about is 3D printing. Don't you guys just 3D print everything these days? Well, no, not exactly. 3D printing technology still has a little bit to go before we're going to be using that all the time. We're using 3D printing more as a sort of a support technology. We don't use it all the time, and it has its share of difficulties. It's not the savior to model making. Favorite project of my career it's in our shop right now. It's the scale model for the Rogers Center that we're building for an investors group that they call themselves Our Home in Miniature Land, and what they're doing is sort of making a scaled down version of Canada. And they came to us, and at first I thought it was a joke, it was ridiculous. But sure enough, they were dead serious, and so here we are building an actual functioning model of the Rogers Center in our shop, and it's a fantastic model. So where is it going in the future? It's been around for hundreds of years, a long time, because it's very effective. It's a very good means to communicate the building idea, all its intricacies, the relationship, the spatial relationship, scale, so on and so forth. And so more recently, let's say, renderings, they're quicker to produce. I would argue they're a little bit easier to produce. I don't want to offend any renderers. But somehow when you look at a picture, when I look at this picture here, that doesn't have the same effect. If you were to go stand in front of our scale model, it's a different experience. It's very tangible, and I think that's why scale models have not become obsolete. These are my favorite